Hey guys, my next review is going to be on a movie that I don't particularly enjoy. I'm only doing it because it's something new to talk about. I haven't really done a good and decent horror movie review in a while. The movie is the new Friday the 13th. When I first heard that they were going to do a reboot of Friday the 13th, I was very excited. I am a huge Friday the 13th fan. And my dad wouldn't allow me to see it in theaters because this movie is freaking gross, he says. So he wouldn't let me see it. I got it on DVD. I was expecting it to be a remake of the first one, with the mother. I didn't know that it was going to be a reboot. I mean, I knew Jason was in it, but I really thought it was a remake. I saw it and I remember thinking how terrible it was because this movie had so much sex in it that it was freaking nuts. I mean, this movie is basically a porno. There is so much sex and nudity in this movie, you wouldn't believe it. And in the killer cut, it's even worse. And I don't have the killer cut, even though it says it on the case. I got this at a used video store, and the idiot put the wrong DVD in the case. So, you know. And I rented the killer cut off Netflix, so I've seen both versions. I prefer the killer cut over the R-rated because it's got gorier death scenes and bonus features. Um, but it's got some. It really. This movie has some very good death scenes. I would compare the death scenes in this movie with the new Halloween. Um, it's directed by Marcus Nispel, who I believe directed Jason Goes to Hell. Produced by Michael Bay, who produced Texas Chainsaw Massacre and billions of other horror movie reboots. Sean S. Cunningham. Derek Mears is Jason in this movie. And, I don't know. I don't really see a difference in any of the Jasons. I mean, I can kind of tell when it's a Kane Hodder Jason, because Kane Hodder looks a lot more buffed. Like the Jason in Freddy vs. Jason was really gay looking. I didn't like the Jason in that movie. Has Danielle Panabaker in this movie, and you might know her from some of the Disney movies. She was in a Disney movie I can't remember about a chick that gets her diary published. I can't believe I even know that, but I do. Um, if you haven't seen this yet, this movie combines the first three Jason films, being that the very beginning of the movie, the first maybe 10 minutes, um, shows us of the mom who killed everybody at the camp, and the mom is chasing Alice, and Alice ends up killing the mom. And then Jason has the bag over his head for a little while in the movie, and then he finds the hockey mask, and then he's Jason in the hockey mask for the rest of the movie. Um, I really liked Jason in this movie. The death scenes were really good. There hadn't really been a good Jason movie since, really, for me, part 4. I mean, Freddy vs. Jason was okay. Um, maybe part 8. But, I really love blood and gore in some of these movies, and this movie has a lot of blood and gore if you're interested in that. If you're not a Jason fan and you just like gory movies, this is definitely one to pick up if you like that stuff. Um, there is a planned part 2, but they've had a planned part 2 since this movie came out back in 2000. 2008, I believe, 2008, 2009. So I'm not sure when it's coming out. It's probably because of legal issues that it hasn't came out yet. I mean, they're also planning a Halloween 3, the follow-up of Rob Zombie's Halloweens. And they've planned that since Halloween 2 in 2008 or 9. And, that was supposed to come out last year, but they moved it to this year. So, I don't know. It's a lot of legal issue crap that's going on. I mean, I really don't see a part 2 happening anytime soon if they decide to make a part 2. I don't see Halloween 3 happening. There is an Evil Dead 4 apparently supposed to happen. I don't see that happening either. I don't see Scary Movie 5 happening, nor do I see Final Destination. I think it's 5 happening as well. These are all planned horror movies that are supposed to come out. Um, it's just probably ideas that people thought of to make money, and they're probably not gonna happen. Um, it A lot of the horror movies today are basically remakes or reboots or continuations or sequels. They're making so many remakes. It's really strange. I mean, like all of really the remakes first started when Texas Chainsaw Massacre was remade. That's when they started remaking. Halloween, Friday the 13th, Last House on the Left, Nightmare on Elm Street, uh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel, Halloween sequels, the new Scream movie, you know, and it it's kind of gives you the impression that people are running out of ideas to make for movies nowadays. But check out this movie. I mean, it was truly pretty frightening. Um, it's not the most scariest movie I've ever seen, but it was pretty freaky when I first saw it. Um, Check it out. If you lost faith in Jason and you haven't seen the new one yet, or if you love gory movies and you're just not a fan of Friday the 13th, this is really one of the best Jason movies since, like, Part 4, Friday the 13th, Part 4. Um, I don't necessarily like it how they didn't do a remake of the original movie, but still, it's more Jason. I mean, Jason's really cool in this movie, and he runs around and kills people. He doesn't walk around like a zombie. But it goes back to the original roots in the original movies where he was running after his victims and not walking after them. But check out Part 8, or Friday the 13th, if you like nudity, sex, and gore. And this is probably the movie for you.